Be a present, though. I heard him say so. Yeah, but you can't trust him, Gildersleeve. He's just sneaky enough to go and do it. I could give him a little present, not a very good one. I could stop in here and get him something kind of cheap at the drugstore. I think I will.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas just like you are. Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hello, P.B. I didn't know that you were musically inclined, P.B.
Well, no, I wouldn't go so far as to say that. I do find myself humming a tune occasionally when I'm alone here in the shop.
Oh, well, you know what they say. It's music makes the world go round. Or is it love?
Did you ever listen to this fellow Crosby, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Crosby? Oh, yes, yeah.
Quite a singer.
One of the best. As a matter of fact, I've been compared to him once. Well, I was.
Usually, I like to listen to him on Thursday night. So does Mrs. Peavy.
Oh, Mrs. Peavy's a music lover, too, huh?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, one of the things I'm giving her for Christmas is an album of records. Selections by John Philip Sousa. He happened to be playing at the Steel Pier when we were on our honeymoon.
Oh. Well, between Crosby and Sousa, you can't go wrong. Hey, maybe you can help me out, Peavy. I came here to find a Christmas present.
Oh, something for a friend?
Well, I don't know that he's a friend, but I got to get him something.
Well, I dare say we can find something suitable, Mr. Gildersleeve. Now, let's see.
It doesn't have to be too suitable.
Well, what sort of thing does your friend like?
He doesn't even have to like it. It just has to be a present.
Well, that makes it rather difficult. If you could give me some idea.
Well, I'll tell you. I'm buying it for Judge Hooker.
Judge Hooker? Well, it's a small world, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, is it, Peavy?
Would you believe it? Judge Hooker was in here not over an hour ago selecting a present for you.
Oh, so this is the kind of place he comes to buy me presents, is it?
I think you have a pleasant surprise in store for you, Mr. Gildersleeve. This gift is not the sort of thing you'd expect to find in a drugstore.
I'd like to know anything you wouldn't expect to find in a drugstore. Tell me, Peavy, what did he buy me?
Oh, well, now, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. Professional ethics, you know.
But I want to know how good a present to buy him. At least you can tell me how much it cost.
No, but I believe I can say without betraying any confidence that it was under $5.
Good. Good. Now we're getting someplace. What have you got for an old goat that costs less than $5?
Well, I've got a special on a fountain pen set here.
Huh?
You see, it says double-barreled, self-filling, iridium point, streamlined lucite case, special patented clip, indestructible, guaranteed to last till eternity.
Is it any good?
It's all right. You can't expect everything for $3.98.
Yes, well, you say it's guaranteed to last till eternity. Well, how long is that? 10 years?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
5 years?
If you don't drop it. Of course, if you don't care for the fountain pen, I have other things. I have an 8-day clock here, but the thing about that is...
I know, you have to wind it too often. Now, I'll take the fountain pen. May not last forever, but neither will Hooker.
I suppose you'd like it wrapped as a gift.
Wrapped as a gift? What does that mean?
Take the price tag off.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Does this pen cost more than the present the judge is giving me, or less?
Well, the pen is slightly more expensive.
Then leave the tag on it. I'll just take it as it is. Charge that, will you, Peavy? Hogan Brothers got all my money.
Well, glad to, Mr. Gildersleeve. I hope you have a Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Peavy, and the same to Mrs. Peavy. You know, Leroy, maybe it's this green bulb that's making the trouble.
It do look a little tired.
Why don't you unscrew the bulb and stick the screwdriver in there?
Oh, never do that, my boy. You blow out every fuse in the house. Besides, you can get a nasty shock that way.
Well, that's what the electrician did when he fixed the lights last year. I saw him.
Well, those electrician fellows are immune to electricity. Let me have that other bulb there, will you, Bertie?
Yes, sir. You know, Mr. Gildersleeve, when my vacuum cleaner starts acting up, I got a sure cure for it.
Well, a vacuum cleaner is not like a light circuit, Bertie.
Well, maybe not, but to me, all them electrical things is about the same. Goes in there and comes out here, and you better stay out of the way.
Well, the trouble here doesn't appear to be the green bulb. What is your cure, Bertie?
Well, sir, I pull the plug out, and I turn it around, and I shake the bag 3 times and put the plug back. It ain't never failed yet.
Well, we've tried everything else.
Yes, I can remember when we didn't bother with these electrical gadgets on Christmas trees. We just used candles. Set the house on fire every year, but it was a lot simpler. Go ahead and let's try your system, Bertie.
All right. Stand back, Leroy. Now, pull the plug, turn it around, shake the cord. 1, 2, 3. Put the plug back.
Well, I'll be. Bertie, you're a genius. Marjorie, come on in and see the beautiful tree.
Oh, it's beautiful. Let's turn off all the other lights and see how it looks. Hey, that's super. Oh, it's lovely. Isn't it, Uncle Moore?
Yes, it is. It's lovely.
That's the prettiest tree I ever saw in my life. Reminds me of the World's Fair.
Well, it's not as big a tree as we've had other years, but when you think of all the people who aren't going to have any Christmas tree at all this year.
You know what gets me? Every year, Uncle Mort says, well, don't expect much this year, kids. We're going to have to cut down and just have a very small Christmas. I know.
And every year seems like there's more presents than ever.
Oh, Uncle Mort, you've been so good to us. You've been like Santa Claus and Daddy and our favorite uncle, all rolled into one.
Yeah, you're a swell, Unc.
Now.
I made some of them Christmas cookies special for you, Mr. Gillsleeve. Shall I bring them in?
Well, I can't think of a better time for Christmas cookies than right now, Bertie.
I'll go get them.
Yeah, cookies. I think I'm going to like this Christmas.
Hey, Unc, can we open just one present? Can we, huh?
Well, don't you think you ought to wait till Christmas, my boy?
Oh, but you always let us open just one. I'll pick a little one.
Well, all right then. Just a little one.
Come on, Marge. You pick one of yours and I'll pick one of mine.
Now, let's see what you got first.
Gee, thanks, Unc. A war bond. Just what I needed.
Not what you needed, maybe, but what the country needed. I know it may be something of a disappointment to you.
No, I think it's swell. I don't care if I didn't get a Model P-47 with a motor in it.
Well, it may mean that somebody else will get a real P-47 with a real motor in it. You have to think of that, my boy.
Yeah, I just wish I was the fellow who's going to fly it, that's all. Open yours, Marge. Let's see what you got.
I think I know. Is it, Uncle Mort?
Well, you open it and see.
You remembered.
What you got there, Miss Marjorie?
Every year he gives me one. Listen. Oh, it's a darling one. I love music boxes, and I love Christmas. Merry Christmas, Uncle Mort.
Merry Christmas, my dear. Who's that?
I'll go. Maybe it's Santa Claus. Well, for goodness sake, come in, Judge.
Good evening, Bertie. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Judge.
Hello, Leroy.
Hi.
Hello, Marjorie.
Merry Christmas, Judge.
Would you be good enough to ask your uncle, Marjorie, whether he's in?
Ask the judge whether he's blind.
Oh, so that's your attitude. Well, you may recall, Throckmorton, that we gave a certain lady our promise that during her absence, we would be friends.
Yes, I recall it vaguely.
Well, I, for one, am a man of my word. It's customary for friends to exchange tokens this holiday season. For that reason, and for no other, I have brought you a slight gift. Here.
Oh. Well, now that you mention it, I have one for you. There.
Throckmorton. You old son of a gun.
Yeah. Horace, you old goat, you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. By George, now it is a Merry Christmas.
Throckmorton, what do you say we open each other's presents, huh?
Okay, let's do it.
I just can't wait. Oh. That everlasting fountain pen.
Ooh, that 8-day clock.
Throckmorton, I think Brother Peavy unloaded something on us.
Well, now, I wouldn't say that. behalf of the Kraft Cheese Company and the cast of our program, I'd like to wish all of our listeners a very Merry Christmas and the happiest possible New Year. There are many of us for whom it'll be difficult to be merry this Christmas, with loved ones far away and families divided. But let's try to keep up the Christmas tradition for the sake of the men who are fighting to preserve it. And to those men also fighting in foxholes and slit trenches on the sea and in the air, northeast, south, and west, we also send our Christmas good wishes. God bless you all. Good night, everybody.
Original music heard on this program was composed and conducted by Billy Mills. This is Ken Carpenter speaking to the makers of Kraft Cheese and inviting you to tune in again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
You lovers of macaroni and cheese will get a thrill out of the new-fashioned way of making this grand dish with Kraft Dinner. A package of Kraft Dinner contains special macaroni which cooks up fluffy and tender in just 7 minutes. And the Kraft Dinner package also contains some Kraft Grated, which supplies the grand cheese flavor. You just boil the Kraft Dinner macaroni for 7 minutes, drain it, and stir in the Kraft Grated. Your macaroni and cheese is ready to serve. Now, because Kraft Dinner is so simple to make, so good and so economical, it has become tremendously popular throughout the country. So popular, in fact, that sometime a dealer's supply is exhausted by the end of the week. You can help your dealer and yourself, too, by ordering Kraft Dinner early in the week. Then you'll have it on the pantry shelf, ready for grand macaroni and cheese you cook in 7 minutes. This program reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
From Tribune Tower, high atop Chicago and all across the nation, WGN in Chicago gives you the soothing sounds of Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason once said, "Our dreams are first-hand creations rather than residues of waking life. We have the capacity for infinite creativity, at least while dreaming. We partake of the power of the Spirit, the infinite Godhead that creates the cosmos. These creations of radio from years gone by still retain infinite life that bring back the spirit of Christmas. Join us as we journey into another great theater and paint with sound the magic of the golden age of Christmas."
The Jack Benny program, transcribed and presented by Lucky Strike.
Be happy-go-lucky for Christmas gifts this year.
Broadcasting from the Veterans Administration Hospital in Long Beach, California, the Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Rochester, Dennis Day, Bob Crosby, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, since our program today comes to you from a hospital, I take great pleasure in bringing you a man who talks like a doctor and walks like a nurse. What? Jack Benny!
Well, that's all I've got to say. Well, thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Don.
Oh, I'm sorry to break up like this, Jack, but that introduction I gave you was so funny, I just can't help laughing.
Oh, you thought it was funny, huh, Don?
Yeah. You're not angry, are you?
No.
Well, I'm glad you're not, because you don't be anything for a laugh.
Yeah.
Talks like a doctor and walks like a nurse. Jack, you sure you're not angry?
Don, now why should I be angry? When you said I talk like a doctor, I was flattered. After all, if I'm a doctor, I'm an MD. MD means more deductions. Which is exactly what you're going to find on your paycheck this week. Now laugh that one off.
Now wait a minute, Jack. Every time I say something that strikes me funny, you always...
Don, don't get excited. I'm not going to cut your salary. I only said that to stop you from laughing. See, the way you were shaking, I was afraid Terminal Island would sink another 3 feet. So kidding, fellas. You ever see a stomach as big as Don's? If that thing was filled with toys, every kid in America would be loaded. Hey, Don, if you're such a laughing boy, why is it when I say funny things you don't get hysterical? That was a pretty good joke, you know.
Well, frankly, I fail to see the humor in any platitudes concerning my obesity.
What does that mean?
I don't like being called a big fat slob.
Oh, well, in that case... Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. Hiya, fellas.
Well, Mary, I'm certainly glad you got here in time for the show. You know, you had me worried.
Well, I'm sorry, Jack, but I overslept. It took me an hour and 20 minutes to drive down from Beverly Hills.
Oh, you overslept, huh?
Yeah, I've been up late every night this week.
Well, look, Mary, if I told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. If you want to remain a big star, you can't stay up all hours of the night having fun.
Who's having fun? I'm wrapping Christmas packages at Make Company.
Oh, yes, the Christmas rush, yeah.
Excuse me a minute, Jack. Oh, Don.
Yes, Mary?
I've got a big surprise for you. Just as I entered the building, I ran into Dr. Komar and Dr. Bors.
No kidding, Mary. Dr. Komar and Dr. Bohr, huh?
Who's Dr. Komar? Who's Dr. Bors?
Don, they said that since the operation, they've received honorary mention from the Medical Society.
Ah, gee, that's quite an honor for Dr. Komar and Dr. Bors.
Who's Dr. Komar and who's Dr. Bors?
And you know, Don...
Wait a minute. Who's Dr. Komar and Dr. Bors?
Well, Jack, if you must know, they're the doctors who performed a major abdominal operation on Don.
On Don?
Yes.
Gee, I didn't know Don had a stomach operation, Mary. What did they take out?
They didn't take anything out. They put in a deep freeze.
Now, Mary, before you came in, Don told me that he doesn't like any platitudes concerning his obesity.
What does that mean?
I don't know, Mary, really. I'm quoting.
Oh, Longfellow the poet?
No, Fatfellow the announcer. Now, look, Mary, we came down to entertain the boys here at the Veteran Administration Hospital. So let's not... Oh, excuse me, Mary. Come in.
Here I am, boss.
Rochester. Well, bring it right in, Rochester, and we'll set it up here in the corner.
Jack, a Christmas tree.
That's right, Mary. I bought it for the boys here.
Well, Jack, with trees selling for $1.50 a foot, you certainly picked out a nice big one.
Oh, I picked this one out, Miss Livingston. I returned the one that Mr. Benny bought.
Why? Couldn't you get it through the door?
Through the door? You could have gotten that one through the keyhole.
Rochester, do me a favor. Just set the tree up and start trimming it.
Okay. And, boss, if I do a good job, would you give me the rest of the week off? I sort of made arrangements to play Santa this year.
Rochester, you're going to play Santa Claus?
No, Santa Anita.
I should have known. I'm sorry, Rochester, but I'm not giving you any time off to go to the racetrack.
But, boss!
Rochester, don't but boss me. You've been working for me for 12 years, and I've made it a policy never to let you gamble.
Mr. Benny is right, Rochester. It'd be different if you were making a decent salary.
Why, certainly. Rochester, set up the Christmas tree and start trimming it.
Okay. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Rochester.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. If my voice was higher, you would fire Dennis Day.
I would not. Now, Rochester, just hang the ornaments on the tree and be very careful with them because...
Hello, Mary. Hello, Jack. Hiya, fellas.
Bob Crosby. Say, Bob, this is the first time you've been down to the Veterans Hospital in Long Beach. How do you like it?
Oh, it's just wonderful, Jack. You know, this whole place is run just like a great big luxurious hotel.
A hotel?
You know, Jack, I ran into a friend of mine who's a patient here, and you should have heard him rave about the service.
No kidding.
Why, he said all you have to do is just yell, and 4 beautiful nurses rush in and wait on you.
No.
Yeah. And he said it doesn't matter when you feel like eating. All you got to do is just press a little buzzer, and the chef comes out, sits on the edge of your bed, and says, "Which would you prefer, boys, filet mignon or crepe Suzette?"
Well, that is service. I don't blame your friend for raving.
Oh, that isn't all. If you feel like a little liqueur or champagne after dinner, why, my friend said all you have to do is just call the wine steward and,
Bob, why'd you stop talking?
Well, that's where my friend stopped. He came out of the ether.
Well, I thought he was exaggerating a little bit. Now, Bob, even though Dennis is going to sing later, I think the boys here would appreciate it if you did a song, too. How about it? Huh?
Well, I've got a song that hasn't anything to do with Christmas, but it's a very big hit right now.
Well, I'm sure they'd like to hear it. Let's have it.
Don't let the stars get in your eyes.
Don't let the stars get in your eyes. Don't let the moon break your heart. While love blooms at night, in daylight it dies. Don't let the stars get in your eyes.
Oh, keep your heart for me, for someday I'll return, and you know you're the only one I'll ever love.
Too many nights, too many stars, too many moons could change your mind.
If I'm gone too long, don't forget where you belong. When the stars come up, remember you are mine. Don't let the stars get in your eyes. Don't let the moon break your heart.
Love blooms at night, in daylight it dies. Don't let the stars get in your eyes.
Oh, keep your heart for me, for someday I'll return, and you know you're the only one I'll ever love.
Don't let the stars get in your eyes.
That was Bob Crosby singing Don't Let the Stars Get in Your Eyes. And very good, Bob, very good.
Thank you, Jack. Say, do you mind if I ask you something?
Not at all, Bob. What is it?
Well, what would you do if you found out that someone was stealing your jokes and trying to imitate you?
Well, I'd be awfully upset about it. Why do you ask?
Well, I'm in the same predicament. Yeah, there's another singer around. He makes records and everything. Goes out of his way to sound an awful lot like me.
I think I know who you mean. Bob Hope introduced me to him. While they were making that picture, The Road to Redondo. But look, if you're so concerned about this fella stealing your style, why don't you talk to him?
Well, I did, and he hit me over the head with Gary.
Well, good.
Oh, wait a minute, Bob. If you feel that your brother Bing's reputation is hurting you professionally, why don't you change your name?
Say, that's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that before? That's what I'll do. I'll change my name.
What are you going to change it to?
Sam Crosby.
Well, that'll fool everybody. Now, look, Mary.
Oh, boss!
What is it, Rochester?
I'm almost finished trimming the tree. How's it look?
Those ornaments I brought down certainly look nice, but Rochester, the tree doesn't look colorful with just the red ornaments. Put some green ones on now.
There ain't any green ones.
Rochester, I picked out 24 green ones. How come they're all red?
They ripened on the way down. I told you not to use tomatoes.
I can't understand how those tomatoes could ripen so fast. From Beverly Hills to Long Beach is only 40 miles as the crow flies.
That's a 1952 crow. You got a 1910 Maxwell.
Oh, stop.
Rochester's right, Jack. Why don't you get rid of that old car and buy a new one?
I'll tell you why, Mary. That car has been like an old friend to me. It's been with me through rain and shine, through thick and thin, through good times and bad.
Through McKinley and Coolidge.
I know. Very funny, Mary, very funny. I think that was the cleverest line in the show. Don't you think so, Bob? Bob? Sam.
Yes, sir.
Everybody has to be a comedian.
Well, Jack, you've got to admit that Mary got off some beautiful ad-libs today.
I know. She must be trying to impress the girls at the May Company.
May Company? What does he mean, Mary?
Well, Bob, I can't live on what Jack is paying me, so I'm working nights wrapping Christmas gifts.
Oh, no. Now, wait a minute. I don't believe that Jack could be that cheap.
Well, brother, you're in for a shock.
A shock?
Yeah, last night I wrapped the Christmas gift he's sending you.
No kidding, Mary. What'd he get me?
Well, I'm not allowed to tell, Bob. When you unwrap the Christmas package, save the paper. It's the most expensive part.
You nearly loused that joke up good. I thought she'd never get to the end of that one. I don't mind being stingy, but get to it. Now, Bob, believe me, I'm sending you a very... Excuse me. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
Mr. Benny, I represent the patients here at the Long Beach Veterans Hospital.
I see.
We understand that when you did a show at an air base, the boys gave you a propeller with their names on it.
Yes, they did.
And when you did a program at a naval base, they gave you a life preserver bearing the signatures of the entire personnel.
That's right.
So we, too, would like to present you with a token of our appreciation.
You would?
Yes. On behalf of the patients here at the Veterans Hospital in Long Beach, I'd like to present you with this autographed bed sheet.
Well, isn't that wonderful? Gee, look at all the names of the boys here. Wait a minute, what's this name here? It looks like Robert Smith. But the Robert is scratched out, and it says Louise.
Yes, the doctors here are as good as the ones in Denmark.
Louise, well, what do you know? Well, thank you very much for the gift.
You're welcome.
What a thing to present me with, a bed sheet.
Oh, boss!
Yes, Rochester?
I can't reach the top of the tree to put the star on it.
Well, of course you can't reach it. Use the ladder.
But, boss, that ladder's awful wobbly.
Oh, stop being a baby. Give me that star. I'll climb the ladder and put it up myself. There we are. Now all I have to do is lean over.
Jack, the ladder's starting to shake. Look out!
Boss, the tree looks beautiful.
What do you mean the tree looks beautiful? I still got the star in my hand.
I know, but your toupee flew off and caught on the top branch.
My toupee?
Yeah, lots of trees have snow, but this one's got dandruff.
Jack, when you fell off the ladder, did you hurt yourself?
No, darn it.
What do you mean, darn it?
Well, the year's almost up, and I haven't had a chance to use my Blue Cross policy yet. Now, Rochester, set the ladder up again. I'm going to put that star up on
just
top.
a minute, Jack.
What is it, Don?
Well, the Sportsman Quartet just came in, and they prepared a commercial I'm sure the fellas here like. Can they do it now?
Well, certainly, Don. Tell them to go right ahead.
Okay. All right, fellas, take it.
Listen, 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 better watch out, you better not cry. Listen now, Jack, we're telling you why. Santa Claus is coming through town. He's making a list and checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming through town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry. Listen now, Jack, we're telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. With plenty of luck, he's right on his back. A carton or two for Mary and Jack. Santa Claus is coming to town. And you can be sure that Santa is glad, bringing those luckies to Mother and Dad. Santa Claus is coming to town. Now Santa knows that but Lucky Strikes are better tasting too. There's nothing that beats better taste.
There is nothing, no, there's nothing.
Light up a Lucky, better start now. Open a pack, we're telling you how. Santa Claus is coming through town on Thursday. Listen, 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 listen. Santa Claus is coming through town.
That was very, very nice, Don. Gee, I wish I could use that number on my television show next Sunday.
Oh, that's right, Jack. Your next TV show is the 28th, isn't it?
That's right, next Sunday.
Jack, are you having any guest stars?
Am I having guest stars? Get this, Mary. I'm having Mr. and Mrs. Jimmy Stewart.
Wow, Jimmy Stewart and his wife. Why, Jack, that must cost a fortune.
No, it doesn't, Bob. You see, I made a very good deal. You see, I only hired Jimmy Stewart's wife. And Jimmy is coming on for nothing.
Yeah, but why would he do that?
He doesn't trust me. Anyway, they're going to be with me next Sunday on my TV show, and it's going to... Well, Dennis, it's about time you got here.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Hello, everybody.
Dennis, what made you so late?
Oh, I wasn't late.
What?
I was here all the time, but my mother told me to hide.
Why would your mother tell you to do a thing like that?
She said I like to see the old man worry.
Dennis, what has your mother got against me anyway? Look what I did for you. I made it possible for you to be on radio. Got your jobs in pictures, television. I don't know why your mother's so mad. Why, last summer when I took you to London, I even bought you first-class passage. I'm worse than Mary here. Why, last summer... I'm going to take that line over again. Why, last summer when I took you to London, I even bought you first-class passage.
That's why she's mad at you.
Why, because your ticket was first class?
No, because it was round trip.
Oh, well, Dennis, I don't care if your mother likes me or not. And, kid, if she was listening to the program, I hope she squirmed a little because I had Bob Crosby sing a song.
Who?
Bob Crosby.
Who? Dennis, don't you remember me?
Oh, Sam!
Yes, Sam. Now, look here, Dennis.
Jack.
Huh?
No wonder Dennis says silly things. You get him excited. You don't know how to handle him.
I guess you're right, Mary.
Of course I'm right. Now look, Dennis. This is the first time you've been here at the Veterans Hospital. So why don't you...
I was here before.
Oh, you were?
Uh-huh. During the war, when I was entering the service, I had to fill out a questionnaire, and after I got through answering all the questions, they sent me down here for an examination, and 3 doctors examined me to see if I was fit for the service.
3 doctors? See, that must have been quite an examination. Did you have to remove all your clothes?
No, they just told me to take off my hat.
Well, that I can believe.
Oh, you know, Mr. Benny, I rode down here with Don Wilson, and he told me a very funny joke. Would you like to hear it?
Well, yes, Dennis, go ahead.
Well, Don said that
Just a second, Dennis. Are you sure you can tell this joke before this mixed audience? You know, Louise is here. Is the joke all right?
Oh, sure, it's a wonderful joke.
Well, what is it?
Well, Don told me that you ought to be a big success at this hospital because you talk like a doctor and walk like a nurse.
Dennis, I'm glad you repeated that joke because if I'm a doctor, that makes me an MD. MD stands for Morton Downey, who may be singing on the program next week.
Oy vey.
So watch it.
Oh, boss!
Oh, yes, Roger. Oh, is that you, oy vey?
Oh, this old boss!
Oh! Yes, Rochester.
I got the lights on the tree. Should I turn them on?
Not yet. Hey, kids, Rochester's ready to light up the tree. Let's all gather around.
Oh, yeah, let's see it, Jess.
Now, okay, Rochester, plug in the lights.
Yes, sir.
The wires must be crossed.
Well, something must be crossed. The tomatoes lit up.
Rochester, try it again.
Yes, sir. Oh, here's the trouble, boss. There's a bare wire right by the socket.
Well, don't stand there. Fix it.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Boss, I ain't fooling around with electricity.
Oh, Rochester, imagine being afraid of electricity. Supposing Robert Fulton was afraid. He never would have invented the electric light. Would he?
Jack, you're thinking of Thomas Edison.
Edison? Well, then what did Robert Fulton do?
He wrote, I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus.
Oh, yes. Now, Rochester, please fix these lights.
Okay. Now, let me see now. In electricity, there's the electrons and the electrodes. And then there's the positive and the negative. But I ain't positive which one is negative. Then there's the atoms. Now, the atoms are supposed to go from the positive to the negative. Or maybe they go from the electrons to the electrodes. Then again, maybe they go from Long Beach to Wilmington.
Rochester.
Now, as long as these atoms keep passing each other, everything is all right. But when they meet halfway and start fighting, they're going to turn on anybody who tries to butt in.
Rochester, I'm not interested in the scientific details. I just want you to fix those lights. And you've got nothing to be afraid of because while you're fixing it, no one is going to plug it in and no one is going to turn on the switch.
Oh, I know, boss. While I'm holding the bare wire, you ain't going to turn on the switch, and Miss Livingston ain't going to turn on the switch.
Of course not.
But way up there at Boulder Dam, there's a little man sitting in a room all alone with thousands of wires around him.
So what?
How do I know he ain't going to do something just to break the monotony?
Rochester, you can stop with the joke.
Jack!
What?
Look, the lights went on.
Oh, yes. Who fixed the wire?
I did, Jack.
Well, isn't that beautiful? Look how pretty the lights are. Oh, Dennis.
Yes, Mr. Benny?
Now that the tree is lit up and the boys here in the hospital are waiting to hear you sing, would you like to do some Christmas carols?
I sure would, Mr. Benny.
All right, go ahead.
Adeste fideles, leti triumphantes, venite, venite in Bethlehem. Join